Migraines can be debilitating and really hard sometimes to get through. So join us today as we explore what are some natural approaches to hopefully prevent the migraines, or if you get them, to start treating them. Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Yeagley. Welcome to Sage Health TV.
And I'm Dr. Julianne Morello. Welcome back to our episode.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you. Yes.
So let's go ahead and dive in. So we'll start with talking about what causes and what can trigger migraines. There are many different things, and I will say that it's multifactorial. So we list a lot of things here, but there can definitely be a ton of different players that are contributing to your migraines, okay? One of them is stress. So stress can cause your migraines. It either could be from a histamine response, it could be from so much stress that's causing tight muscles, which is contributing to neck pain. It could be hormones, so maybe you're experiencing migraines around your period. And so check out our episode that's on PMS and how to balance your hormones. Another thing could be diet, and we'll talk about this in the bottom section here, like what are some things in your diet that could be contributing to your migraines. It could be change in weather, so maybe it's too hot or too cold, or the weather's just fluctuating too much, or it's just rainy and damp, and acupuncture really addresses that. Sleep disturbances, whether you're not getting enough sleep, whether you have a really uncomfortable bed that's causing neck pain, whether you're just so tired that you don't have enough chi or energy to just get you through the day, and so that's triggering a migraine. Other things could be perfumes, fragrances, also environmental toxins. So genetically, some people just don't detox really well, and we can talk about genes and SNPs that make your detox system run really slow, that when you are exposed to environmental toxins like perfumes, fragrances, aluminum, other metals, that triggers a migraine. And I talked about neck pain a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And we see, when we see someone come in, and we definitely address all of these areas. So we dive in on all those points and then loop in, like, say, for instance, on neck pain, we might, do some treatments here like acupuncture, trigger point therapy, but we also loop you into kind of a team of what we would call like holistic chiropractors or really good PT, because you really have to, you need somebody in there working on that space for sure. So let's talk about treatments. Diet, believe it or not, diet can be a huge contributor. I have people that whenever they eat dairy, they instantly get a migraine. And they still have dairy sometimes. Oops. But it's really important to figure out, what are your triggers? And sometimes it's through a food allergy panel, sometimes it's just through elimination and reintroduction. Sometimes people know, they're like, and sometimes it can be something simple that should be healthy, like coconut. I have like some people that react to coconut. So, and talking about, so actually coming back, we can test those food intolerances as well. So it's a good idea to do that. And low histamine diet. So in talking about histamines are inflammatory, and they are kind of what we think of as like an allergic reaction, right? And so there can be a lot of things that trigger that, foods, environmental, allergens, and there are definitely like high histamine foods. And so for some people, this isn't everybody, I feel like. It's not every migraine person, but sometimes doing a trial of really a low histamine diet along with like histamine supporting like DAO enzymes can be really, really helpful. So I don't know if you want to move on to one of our others.
Yeah. Okay, so then supplements. There's a ton of different supplements, and I will say that treatments for migraines are, again, they're multifactorial. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a combination of maybe you're doing a low histamine diet, or you're addressing food intolerances, whether it's like US Biotech General Food Panel, or you've decided to take on the Whole30. And most of the time I would say both of us are probably doing a mixture of like supplements and diet and
Definitely.
physical, medicine, etc.
Yes.
So supplements. So, okay, things that can help with Histamine elimination. One, again, you want to eliminate those things like foods that are causing elevated histamine, and also stress. But other things are vitamin C can help. It's a natural antihistamine. Vitamin B6 as well as quercetin. Other things are mitochondrial support. So it is theorized that people who suffer with migraines actually have I guess, lower functioning mitochondria. So our mitochondria are cells that make energy. And so those mitochondria are not working as well. They're not producing as much energy. And hence you are more susceptible to getting migraines. And so things that help mitochondria could be riboflavin, other B vitamins, CoQ10, as well as NAD, which all of those you can get orally, but you also can get intravenously as well, which is something that we do here.
Definitely, yeah. And
wait, sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I can talk about it. It's fine. And then a lot of times we do use a really pure fish oil just because it's wonderfully anti-inflammatory, and just making sure that they say that they screen out metals in that fish oil. And then magnesium. Oh, magnesium. We love magnesium. We do very high dose IV magnesium as a treatment series for migraines, and we do it actually as an acute. It's called an IV push, and it's kind of intense. You get really.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really really relaxing, really warming, and it really can help the migraine significantly. It's pretty awesome. But we also want to do oral magnesium too. And just remember that not every magnesium is created equally. Some of them, like magnesium oxide, magnesium sulfate, are just going to make you poop, basically. So it's great if you're constipated, but it's not really going to get into the tissues. So you want magnesium malate, citrate, or some of the other ones that are quite good. So yeah. So going on to herbs, really, I mean, this usually is in combination with the vitamins that we're giving. There have been some good studies on Feverfew and butterbur, and we also use ginger as well. And sometimes we do high doses of one of those, but many times it is in combination, I would say, with the vitamins. Usually it's a migraine blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so there are topical lotions or gels that you can also put on those tight muscles. So the idea is to help reduce inflammation, but also relax the muscles. So obviously you can put topical magnesium. The beauty of doing topical magnesium is that it's bypassing the gut, so you can apply all that magnesium without getting loose stools. So that's nice.
Yes.
The other thing is CBD. There's CBD that has herbs in it. We actually have a really great topical here that has menthol and lemon balm. It smells so
it's
good.
amazing. Yeah, eucalyptus. So it's probably one of the best ones I think we found. Yeah. And also with it, some of the magnesiums, I'll just warn you that the topicals can be a little itchy, maybe because it's like a magnesium salt. But usually that, just get past that, it'll absorb and then you're fine. So just a little tip. We're like, I gotta get this thing off me, it's itching, but it gets better. So, okay, so hormones. So as Dr. Morello mentioned, that she did a wonderful video on hormone regulation in the PMS video. So please check that out. But so really, it usually tends to be some sort of imbalance for women between estrogen and progesterone. And usually it's some sort of estrogen dominance, progesterone deficiency. And it could be even, maybe you test estrogens and they're not even really that high, but your progesterone is so low, it looks like an estrogen dominance, right? So, or we're getting like big fluctuations, right? It starts really high at a certain part of the cycle and then it plummets, and then that just makes all of the vessels spasm. So we really need to get those into balance. And some of the research around, really getting into like perimenopausal women or menopausal women is that, of course, there's some caution there. What was really interesting is that I found just research around women who have, especially aura, migraine with aura, have an increased risk of stroke, which I thought was really fascinating. And so if you're in that group, we really want to push the anti-inflammatory, right? Check your clotting markers, and then be cautious, in how we always use bioidentical estrogens if we're supporting that, if we're using a weaker estrogen, but we have to be cautious and make sure that, we're really balancing those so we don't, get any further increased risk, of stroke for those people. So Yeah, very, very important. I don't know if you're gonna, oh, I should maybe mention the testing, but I'd love to have you pop in on that.
Yeah.
So we offer a specialized hormone testing panel that is incredible. It's called the Dutch test, and it really does. So like when you go to your standard doctor, they're gonna check your estradiol, right? Progesterone, maybe, if you're lucky. And this panel does all of the metabolites. So the things that are turning into, to get to the form of estradiol, and then what breaks down from there, and then what, is going to turn into progesterone, along with all of your androgens, which is like testosterone, right? So do you want to speak to like the inflammatory?
Yeah, so the Dutch will, like Dr. Yeagley said, it does test for estrogens and all of the estrogen metabolites, but it also looks at androgens. It also looks at your stress hormones, right? So in that previous episode that I did, there is a connection, right, between your adrenal glands, which is your stress organs, your sex organs, so ovaries, testes, as well as your thyroid. I was like,
yeah. What gland am I missing?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's testing your adrenal hormones, so cortisol and DHEA, and also testing all of your sex hormones that she mentioned, and also looking at any deficiencies in vitamin C, B5, B6, and then also looking at if you're detoxing too fast or too slow. So how we can support those things. So it's really great. And it's a urinary as well as a salivary sample. So that's great because some people will say that it is a lot more accurate to check for cortisol in your saliva.
Yeah.
And then we can also obviously test those things in your serum as well in different times of your cycle. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we might not be able to get the metabolites or they do kind of an inflammatory ratio of estrogens, but we can still get really good data without using the Dutch test. So don't think that you shouldn't do hormone testing just if you can, do that panel. Do you want to talk about these here?
So, obviously, going back to provoking factors, neck pain is a huge factor in causing migraines. And so there is a anatomical or musculoskeletal aspect that we also have to address. So that can be addressed with acupuncture. So acupuncture, you're sticking needles along Chinese or acupuncture meridians, and that can help with releasing fascial adhesions as well as relaxing the muscles. Also, it's an hour of your time that you just get to lay there and
sleep,
de-stress.
Yeah.
So we're addressing a ton of different things, which is really great. And then other things could be, seeing a chiropractor. So it could be either or. It's that your muscles are super tight, so it's pulling your joints out of alignment, or your joints are out of alignment, causing tight muscles, right? So, acupuncture and massage can address those muscles, right, and the fascia, and then you need to go see a chiropractor or one of us, and we can adjust your joints as well.
Yeah.
And then we also do trigger point injection. So we can do it either through acupuncture, so acupuncture needle, or injecting procaine or lidocaine right into the muscle to help kind of relax. I actually tell my patients that I am popping their
I love that. Oh, that's so good. Because when you think about where we're going for, a trigger point is that's that knot, right? Like, so we just get in there and we break it up,
and then it
right?
spasms. It's like a pop.
Yeah. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. See, she likes to see the real. She likes it to okay, you got it. The muscle will do
no
that.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah. Love it. Yes, we can definitely incorporate all of these, and really you should. I think it's really, really rare that it's like, oh, it's only food that's causing your migraine. It's usually not that way. It's like you've got to do everything else. So thank you so much for joining us. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.